all I can say is that on behalf of the Renew Democracy Initiative, we are truly honored to be able to recognize Bobi Wine here today. Thank you, Bobi.
For freedom.
Please get on your feet for our 2026 hero.
Please get on your feet.
Democracy, Bobi Wine.
There we go.
But still not silenced. When I demand for my rights, they label me a rebel. Anyway, I'm not a criminal. I swear I'm not a criminal.
I'm not a criminal.
I'm doing everything. Now listen to my talk. So remember your pain is not in vain. That is why I give them the opportunity. When there's no pain, there is no
gain.
Never give in to the
Negativity.
My deputy president, the women in prison, those that are in detention, those that are missing, and those that are being killed.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the award is home.
All I can say is that on behalf of the Renew Democracy Initiative, we are truly honored to be able to recognize Bobi Wine here today. Thank you, Bobi.
Before we get to his speech, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I think I need to show you how it all began. How was he introduced? When was his time to get to stage? I think I've got a video here. Ladies and gentlemen, just hold your horses and let me treat you to some master of all introductions.
37 years. He gave up the life of a pop star to fight for a nation of 50 million and stand up for freedom around the world.
You know, dictators always stand with each other. That is why mainly the dictators in Africa outrightly supported Putin.
The leader of Uganda's democratic opposition.
The leader of Uganda's democratic opposition. Underline democratic opposition. They're trying to say, hey, since we live in a dictator, these that are opposed to the dictatorship are under democracy.
The regime forced him into exile.
Brian, the UN, local and international human rights groups are all criticizing the Ugandan government for the extreme violence the opposition is facing.
But they can't shake his optimism.
Do you think that there are conditions under which you could go back to Uganda?
I intend to go back to my country. This is not a third world country.
I intend to go back to my country.
We only have third world leaders.
We are fighting for freedom. They're going to play that tune. Listen here. For freedom.
Please get on your feet for our 2026 hero.
Please get on your feet.
Democracy, Bobi Wine.
There we go.
But still not silenced. When I demand for my rights, then they put me a rebel. Anyway, I swear I'm not a criminal.
I'm not a criminal.
Being political don't make me.
Isn't that cool? You need to listen to that. I think I got some sort of a long video here, ladies and gentlemen. That's when he was coming on stage. Let me show you. I think I saved that video. I think I saved that video somewhere. I need to play you that video. Stick around with me. Just give me a minute. I had saved it somewhere. I've got to play you a longer video. It's longer than that, I know for sure. Okay, here we go, ladies. I know I saved it somewhere.
I swear I'm not a criminal. Being political don't make me criminal. I'm not a criminal. I swear I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. Speaking out don't make me no. This is a message to the world government, expressing what's exactly on the Uganda's minds. I say we are fighting for freedom. Freedom to be saved by some. We are fighting for freedom.
We are fighting for freedom.
Free all the political prisoners. We are fighting for freedom. Listen, my argument. We are living in a time similar to the one of slave trade. The operation is just like apartheid. The gun is the master and the citizens slave. The ball of Africa is bleeding. Question, what was the purpose of the liberation? If we can't have a peaceful transition, what is the purpose of the constitution? When the government disrespect the constitution, where is my freedom of expression? When they jail me because of my expression, see what they're doing to our nation. What they're teaching the future generation. See the leaders become misleaders, and see the mentors become tormentors. Freedom fighters become dictators. They look at the youth and say we are the tractors. We are fighting for freedom.
Listen to what he says. Dorian Kaij. I love that. He's not forgetting all those people. Dorian Kaij on the international stage.
We are fighting for freedom. Free Bobi Wine, free everyone.
Free Bobi Wine, free it.
We are fighting for freedom.
Here we are. We are fighting for freedom indeed.
We are fighting for freedom. Well, if you feel like giving up,
Look at this full to capacity.
remember
The entire hall.
where you started. Fighters, I can see your face.
I want to make this comment. I know I piss you off if I pause, but I want to tell you this. You know, there's so many people I see, comedians, and I'm like, oh, he could make a good president. Sometimes I feel like they shouldn't be running for president because I will lose the comedy part of who they are. There's that some sort of a formal way they behave, the way you're surrounded by bodyguards and security personnel all the time, the decorum way of speaking. I'm like, no, that's a lot of niceties that steals away the organic nature of who you are. And I love the fact that despite Bobi Wine's involvement in politics and liberation struggle, he's still got that aspect of a musician, an artist to, you know, to say.
Everything shows you want to give up, and I can feel your sin, your pain, your stress, and your frustration. You got to rise up, think about tomorrow, think beyond your fears. There are days when the skies no blue, and the sign of doom. Trust in God and believe in Him. Trust in God, believe in Him. Anyway, one day everything is gonna be fine.
Absolutely.
Sing with me. Everything's gonna be fine. One day everything will be
Yes.
alright.
One day
Everything is gonna be fine.
Yes, everything
Everything's
will
gonna
be
be fine.
fine.
One day everything will. Listen
Oh,
to this
yes.
one. I said we shall overcome every situation.
Yes, we shall overcome every situation. Here, Martin Luther King says, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Okay? Absolutely. We shall overcome.
It seems impossible until it's done. Better days will come and the sun will rise. No matter how tough the night has been, nobody will have a right to kill another man.
How do we even... Nobody will have a right to kill another man. Absolutely.
Poverty and misery will be in the past.
Poverty and misery will be in the past.
Hospitals will have medication.
Hospitals will have medication.
Every ghetto youth will have a chance to go to school.
Every ghetto kid will have a chance to go to school.
No more shedding of blood on the streets. No more human rights violations.
No more.
No more war. Everybody will have the opportunity.
One day everything will be
gonna be fine.
Everything will be fine.
Someday everything will be alright.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Everything's gonna be fine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if
Let's
you
go.
believe that one day everything's gonna be fine, let me see us together like. Woo! One day everything. Now listen to my heart. So remember your pain is not in vain. That is why I give that the opportunity. Where there's no pain, there is no
Gain.
Never give in to the
Negativity.
One day we shall look back and smile, and we shall have a story to tell. Endurance, perseverance, the squeeze,
The squeeze juice.
where there's no pain, there
There's
is
no gain.
victory. Never come easy.
Easy.
Remember in life there are ups and downs. Never give in to the negativity.
Oh,
One day everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
someday everything will be alright.
One day everything is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Someday everything will be alright. Thank you.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, if you've really been following, you know how I love music. I think me and music, we were made on the same day, if there's something like that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this was an amazing, amazing event. Now I'll take you back to where he received the award. Then I'll give you when he made comments about the plight of women, especially those that have been arrested, abducted, tortured for one crime, supporting him. But before we get there, let's go. He actually dedicated this award to political prisoners.
All I can say is that on behalf of the Renew Democracy Initiative, we are truly honored to be able to recognize Bobi Wine here today. Thank you, Bobi.
I want to dedicate it to all the political prisoners and prisoners of conscience. Dr. Kiza Besigye, my deputy president, Honorable the women in prison, those that are in detention, those that are missing, and those that are being killed. Your pain will never go in vain. We can only honor you by not giving up and by standing for the cause that you are paying a big price for. One day you will think.
Amazing. Precise. Like a miniskirt. Short like a miniskirt. But to the point. One day everything's going to be all right. I immensely appreciate that he dedicates this award to political prisoners. Those that have paid incredible price. Those that I look up to. Those that I revere for these sacrifices. The likes of Dr. Chrystia Freeland. My brother, Alex Waiso, Deputy President Mwanga Chivumbi, Bobi Giant, Bobi Young, Olivia Lutaaya, Yasin Sechitoleko, name them. Doreen Kaija. Look, I've not been tortured. The likes of Kakwenza Luchirabashisha, all of those that have suffered, all fighting for freedom. Incredible stuff here. Look at that hole, ladies and gentlemen, full to capacity. You can look at their faces. Wow. It's incredible. Ladies, and want to make me cry. Seriously, I feel emotional here. But you might be wondering, who was he receiving these awards alongside? Ambassador John Bolton, I think served in the Trump administration the first time. Then you have Honorable Chrystia Freeland, economic advisor to President Volodymyr Zelensky. Okay. Finance Minister and Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, 2020-2024, and Foreign Minister of Canada, 2017-2019. Chrystia Freeland, former Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, is the incoming Executive Director of Rhodes Trust and Economic Advisor to President Volodymyr Zelensky, a public servant, international negotiator, and author. She's a leading advocate for liberal democracy and a fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School. Ladies and gentlemen, to that profile. Then you have here down Senator Mark Kelly. Okay. Senator Mark Kelly saw combat as a naval aviator in Gulf War and served on 4 space shuttle missions, commanding 2. Together with his wife, Representative Gabby Gifford, he co-founded the gun safety organization, Giffords. He has recently faced threats for urging military members to uphold their constitutional oath. And remember, he received some warnings and threats from the Trump administration. That's Senator Mark Kelly. Then you have Ambassador John Bolton. Of course, Ambassador John Bolton has spent his career promoting American leadership on world stage. He broke with the Trump administration over its abandonment of America's democratic allies. Last year, the administration sent federal agents to raid Ambassador Bolton's home and indicted him in an action widely seen as political retaliation, reinforcing John Bolton's reputation as someone who puts principles over partisan loyalties, no matter the risks. That's it. Then you have our own Bobi Wine. Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, known as international as Bobi Wine, left behind a career as a music superstar to stand up for freedom in Uganda. He has run for president twice, facing vote rigging and intimidation. After the most recent fraudulent election, the regime ramped up its threats of arrest, forcing Mr. Sentamu into hiding. He continues to fight for democracy with bravery and unshakable optimism. Absolutely. And that's unshakable optimism. Now, I'm going to show you a few more clips, but before I do that, allow me make a pitch to you, lady and gentleman who is watching. Have you considered subscribing to this feed? We want to make sure that we hit 100,000 subscribers. We are only at 60,000 subscribers. You want to be part of the Mordecai Murisa family, hit the subscription button, and I'll truly appreciate. You can actually go an extra mile by becoming a member by hitting that join button below. Say, Mordecai, I'll become a member on this YouTube channel. But if you don't, you can as well go on and invite other people to join us. Tell them, hey, there's some amazing stuff you want to watch on this channel. Okay, let's go back, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to show you that. Now, I told you Bobi Wine in his speech highlighted the plight of women in Uganda. Let's listen here.
We request you not to continue supporting dictators in Africa.
Speaking to these people, telling them, do not stop supporting dictators in Africa. Why is this even so difficult? Now, that actually tells you how sick the world is. That you have to deal with a man who is abducting, torturing, and killing his people because you're afraid that they have this saying, better the devil you know. Who tells you the devil you know might be the worst? Imagine looking at what Hitler is doing and be like, oh, better the devil you know. Let's leave Hitler kill all the Jews in the world. That's what he was doing. But, oh, better the devil you know. No. When Hitler left, Germany had better leaders. You can't continue saying, better the devil we know. Museveni can kill, torture, because, oh, if he leaves, and this is all usually through his lies, presenting himself as some sort of an indispensable, he cannot be replaced. Come on.
Not to continue choosing diplomacy over democracy.
Don't choose diplomacy over democracy.
Not to continue choosing business over human rights.
Amazing.
Because the dictators in Africa and particularly in Uganda rob our countries, plunder our countries, and they invest and come here and enjoy those monies.
Isn't it funny? And I'm sorry for pausing here. Again, I think I'm going to have to apologize a million times. But dictators usually talk about patriotism and nationalism, how they love their countries. But those Museveni and his acolytes, they steal from Uganda and invest in Europe and America. Like they want to teach me about how I should love Uganda. Make it make sense.
These are dictators that abuse democracies, but they enjoy and benefit out of them.
Ooh.
We request you to use the tools that you have to sanction those gross human rights violators, the abusers of democracy and the rule of law. Don't allow them to enjoy the money they steal from our countries. Our countries' hospitals are run down and the schools are run down, and they're comfortable about it because they seek medical, they seek treatment in the developed world. Their children are studying here. But if you slap sanctions on them, then they will think twice when they are carrying out mass killings. We ask you to evoke the Magnitsky laws that you have. Those are tools that are not only helpful to you, but the country. I know.
I love seeing that Bobi Wine name in a beautiful design up there.
Every time we come and make our case.
What do? I love the man.
Here in the Western world, particularly in America, they accuse us of being agents of the West, of being agents of neocolonialism. But I say to you that we are not asking you to come and help us. We are only asking you to stop sponsoring our oppression.
Come on. I love this. He's addressing, the talking point and dismantling it, like annihilating it in real time. He says they accuse us of being puppets, agents of you guys, agents of the West. He says, no. If I'm your agent, I shouldn't be asking you to do this for us. He says, do not come to fight for us. Absolutely no. But can you use the tools you have? Do not fund our oppression. Cut the ties. Put up some sort of embargo or sanctions against these governments and tyrants, individual culprits of human rights abuse. That's all we're asking for. That's what I'm asking. I don't want Donald John Trump to go to Uganda and topple Museveni. Absolutely no. I don't want Donald John to be the man to fight for me. No. I'm saying, President Donald John Trump, please put such restrictions, those conditions. Be like, hey, if we're going to fund your healthcare system, make sure you don't abduct your political opponents. Is that too much to ask for? No, it shouldn't be. Now let's go to where he was talking about women. All right, I'll show you here. I'm enjoying this, ain't you? Are you enjoying this? Please let me know. Okay.
And she's still missing all mothers,
Yep.
daughters, wives, and spouses of the political prisoners. Female political prisoners like Olivia Lutaaya, who has spent years in prison for simply wearing a t-shirt that has my picture on it.
It's ridiculous. One of them was killed. Marinos Alexandria was killed after being infected with HIV. She was raped where she was under torture dungeon. And what was the crime? Because these folks arrested her because she was playing Bobi Wine's music. Imagine that level of stupidity. I mean, it is imbecility I cannot describe. Oh, we're going to arrest you because you have a t-shirt that has Bobi Wine's face.
Women like Sauda, Madaada, women like Doreen Kaija and many others, the whole day in high regard. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we look at the solution and not at the problem. Now that we know the problem, now that it's clear that Uganda is under dictatorship like many other countries, and now that I have the opportunity to speak for those millions of people, to the modern world, to the United States of America, who we know is the world's biggest democracy, we request you not to continue supporting dictators in Africa, not to continue choosing diplomacy over democracy. not to continue choosing business over human rights.
Exactly. I think we listened to that already. Ladies and gentlemen, what else did I wanted to show you before I let you go?
Uganda, the most beautiful country.
Okay. This is where, they usually accuse us of saying bad things about Uganda. They accuse us of hating Uganda. Even when they see us with a Ugandan flag to show. We do this, first of all, for the love we have for our country. But even tell the entire world that, hey, we're not forgetting where we come from. But they accuse us of being agents or foreign agents, or always say bad things about Uganda, yet we fly and wave the Ugandan flag on a daily basis. So, again, when he's given a microphone, listen to what he says immediately. What does he say about Uganda?
I come from Uganda, the most beautiful country in the world.
I come from Uganda, the most beautiful country in the world.
They call it the Pearl of Africa.
Again, he invokes Winston Churchill. He writes in his book, My African Journey, referring to Uganda as the Pearl of Africa. Says they call it the Pearl of Africa.
That is where the great river Nile starts from. A country.
Again, we don't want people to come and tour Uganda. He's mentioning River Nile is pretty known across Africa. Not across Africa, it is popular across the world. He says, okay, if you want to know where the source of that Nile is, fly to Uganda. He's already making adverts for Uganda.
50 million people, the youngest country in the world. I'm so proud to belong to Uganda. Wonderful country, but miserable because it's under the subjugation of General Yoweri Museveni since 1986. 40 years of misery, 40 years of corruption.
Mic drop. All the beautiful things I've told you about my country, the one I love is under subjugation for 40 years. The oppression of Museveni.
40 years of gun rule, but we still dare to dream for a better day. I'm honored to be here, ladies and gentlemen. And while I'm here in a beautiful hall, while I'm here sharing smiles as we speak right now, more abductions are going on, more killings are going on. On the 15th of January, we had an election. I was running for president, and I believe that I won. But
of course,
since that day, I managed to escape. But again, we celebrate. While I'm here, I'm representing the people of Uganda. I'm not here as an exilee, no. I'm here as a spokesperson for a country called Uganda. A country of people that refuse to give up, that dream against dreaming, that hope against hope. While I'm here, I know that we have people that are suffering, but most importantly, allow me to use this opportunity to speak about the women of Uganda.
Then that's when he went on to talk about Kaija, Sauda, Madaada, Olivia, Lutaaya, to mention but a few. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we smile, but we don't forget the misery our people are facing in our beautiful country, Uganda. It is one thing to go through all this away from Uganda. It is another to live in that country. I spent most of my life in Uganda, and I know when I talk about misery. I was born and raised in utter and abject poverty. Made my way through all suffering. I've documented it in my book, The Odyssey of the Optimist. Maybe I should use this opportunity to advertise my book. Yes. Please go on and order yourself a copy of Amazon. My book is The Odyssey of the Optimist, where I tell my story of where I was born, how I was born, where I was raised, and how I was able to achieve my childhood dreams. Through trials and tribulations, I was able to make it. But the semblance of the achievement of my dreams I usually talk about did not blind me to the sufferings and misery of my people. So, to the people out there who are doing the sacrifices, I have immense respect for you, all Ugandans. Thank you so much. Let's continue dreaming against having no dream. Let's continue hoping against hopelessness, knowing that one time the criminal regime of Museveni will come crumbling down like a house of cards. It is because darkness has never thrived over light forever. So let's continue believing, pushing forward. I know we've gotten to a point where people have sort of psychologically normalized the oppression. They even look at what you do instead of supporting you or encouraging you in what you do. They'll be like, will you even do it? Please leave this man alone. Let him rule us. It is the defeatist approach. It is the mindset that has been defeated. And that's what you're up against. Some of these people who are telling you, hey, please give up, are family members, are relatives and friends, are bosses who'll be like, what are you even trying? Do you think you can topple this regime? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you, history has taught us one thing. It has always been the voices of the minority against the positions, those in positions of power. The slaves were the minority, but they stood against the evil and was defeated. The apartheid regime, remember? The blacks were the minority in the apartheid government. They didn't have positions actually to start with, but it was defeated. Those who opposed there were in the Nazi regime, I don't think there were people opposed to the Nazi regime. If there were, I think they were the minority. Most of them were pro the criminal actions of Adolf Hitler, but it was defeated. So let's continue hoping, using or drawing inspiration to what we've seen, from what we've seen in the past. Okay. All right. My name is Mordecai Marisa. I've got to stop here. If I see something I'm forgetting, don't be surprised if I come back. So please consider subscribing, share with other folks. Please make sure that you copy this link and share it across the country or across the world. And like I said, subscribe. That really goes a long ways in supporting this channel. All right. My name is Mordecai Marisa. See you. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.